Hello there. If you like truth, you'll like it here. Welcome. That time Serena Williams almost knocked my kid out with her big old butt. Full disclosure, this is a true story. I hope you enjoy it. A couple years ago, in 2022, my husband, 2 kids, and I went to Disney World and Universal Studios for 11 days. We left on April 8th and stayed until April 18th. We had a blast. We did each of the 4 Disney parks every few days. Animal Kingdom one day, then Epcot another day, then Hollywood Studios, then Magic Kingdom, for a total of 4 days. And we hopped back and forth between both Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure on the other days. We'd wake up and head to the respective park as soon as it opened and stay until it closed. It was a great time. On April 16th, we were at Disney's Animal Kingdom, having just gotten off a ride. We were walking behind the ride, preparing to head to the next ride. Initially, my husband and our oldest kid were walking side by side, and myself and our youngest kid were walking together. My youngest child and I were behind my husband and our oldest child. There were a lot of people where we were, so we instinctually began to walk in a straight line. My husband naturally led the way, followed by our oldest, then our youngest, then me, bringing up the rear. I should say here that my kiddos are sturdy kids. Despite me being vertically challenged, or, in other words, short, at 5'3", I come from a family of tall men. They are also very naturally muscular. Add to this that my husband bodybuilds, and I lift weights as well, so our children are very naturally athletically built and muscular. Our children sometimes also accompany us when we work out, so they work out sometimes too. I say all this to say my kiddos are not flimsy kiddos. They are not easily knockdownable. As I said, they are tall and naturally athletically built. My kid, who was almost knocked out, is especially sturdy, having remained in the 96th height percentile for most of his life. This will be important to know as the story progresses. So, we are walking. Again, my husband is in front, followed by kid 1, a naturally tall and stocky kid 2, then me. As we're walking, my head is mostly down because it is April in Florida, so I am likely hiding from the sun, despite donning a fairly wide sun hat. Still, my eyes are naturally resting at kid number 2's back, when all of a sudden I see kid number 2 go barreling darn near into the bushes. A wonder of God seemed to come out of nowhere and knock him almost completely over. When I looked again, indeed did a double take, it wasn't a wonder of God. I mean, it kind of still was, but the wonder of God was actually a butt. A big old butt. A big old strong, sturdy butt. A God-given butt that should have come with a beep, 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 except we weren't backing up. We were walking forward, but I mean, this thing was big. Now my head shoots up. I am in mom mode, trying to figure out what or who has almost sent my kid head first into the nearby bushes. I heard a soft whisper of, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay?" And my eyes rest on none other than Serena Williams, the Serena Williams, who is now holding onto my kid's elbow, no doubt to steady him from his encounter with the legendary butt of the legendary Serena Williams. An encounter my kid almost didn't survive. My child responds, "Yes, I'm okay, thanks," as I blink, slowly at first, then rapidly, willing my mind to confirm for me that my child, has just had a bootyful encounter with none other than Serena Williams. It takes me a minute to realize this, but when I do, I very quickly tell Serena Williams that I am so proud of her, and she smiles, says thank you, and walks away. I grab my husband, or more like yank him by the backpack he is carrying on his back, the one that holds our waters and sunscreen, and whisper to him that was Serena Williams, that our kid was almost slung into the bushes by the booty extraordinaire that belongs to Serena Williams. By the time my husband looks, Serena, accompanied by her husband, Alexis Ohanian, co-founder of Reddit, has moved away. I had whispered to my husband because it occurred to me that Serena was trying to blend in and not draw too much of a crowd. And for the most part, it looked like she was succeeding. There were a few people that had noticed it was Serena, as well as her husband, mom, and sister Venus, but for the most part, there wasn't a huge crowd following her. And she wasn't pulling the celebrity card and having whole rides shut down just for her and her family to ride. We had gone out to Disney around the same time as the Kardashians, and it was well documented that they had done just that. They'd shut down the rides and left a bunch of angry parents and sad children sitting on the sidelines watching them have a good time, while skipping the line the regular people had been patiently waiting in. Serena Williams and her family weren't doing that. They weren't putting themselves and their status above everyday hardworking people who also wanted to enjoy the Disney parks with their families and loved ones. Serena and her family were very respectful of everyone, and we respected that. So we kept it cool. As we looked back to where Serena and her husband had walked to as they were on their guided tour, we saw Venus Williams just casually sitting outside the area of the ride, beside her and Serena's mom. She was sitting alone, and although I didn't want to fangirl either her or Serena, I didn't want Venus to feel left out. So I walked over to her and very casually told her that I was proud of her. She was gracious and smiled and said thank you. That probably meant nothing to her, but it meant something to me that she knew that this Black woman was proud of her, and not just her accomplishments, but the way she and her sister carried themselves. They carried themselves with a spirit of excellence and classiness, and that made me proud. So I let them know. Plus, I didn't love how everyone was so gaga over Serena, but barely noticing Venus. I think both women are ridiculously talented in their own right, and I wanted both of them to know that they were appreciated in the Black community amongst Black women. As I walked away, I snapped a picture of Venus, out of her line of sight, so she couldn't see me and feel uncomfortable or like her space was being invaded. I didn't ask for a picture or an autograph because that is not something I would do, but I also respected that they looked like they were trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. I also, pretty immediately, sent a text message to a loved one about the encounter. I will post the text I sent and the picture I took on the screen now. As for my family and I, we went on to enjoy the rest of our stay at Disney World and Universal Studios. We ate good, played hard, and made family memories. But perhaps the greatest memory we made was the fact that our son almost got body slammed by Serena's big booty. He smiled for days and hasn't missed a Serena match since. All right, y'all, that's it, and that's all. Hello there. If you like truth, you'll like it here. Welcome.